Hello, everybody. Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome back to the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. I'm your host Tyler Carter.
And I'm your host, Cody Vanciello.
Cody, welcome back. I want to hear your thoughts about the Final Four. What'd you think?
Definitely underwhelming for the Big 12. This was the
Yeah,
opportunity for them, obviously, to really stake their claim and really assert they are, in fact, the quote unquote best conference in men's basketball. I mean, that's been a thing. I think, us as Iowa State fans, we throw it around. We've seen other fans throw that around. Even Brett Yormark has thrown around that. But the fact is, Michigan, and by no means, like, Michigan pantsed Arizona on national television in the Final Four. And I think that just shows the level of Michigan, just how elite they are. Because we thought we had the national championship game between Michigan and Arizona, because those two teams are really walking into this tournament as like the two best teams. But it's clear that there was a gap between Michigan and Arizona like resulting from this game. And I think it just shows an indicative pattern of what went on this year with the Big Ten, at least at the top, like all the tournament teams above probably the rest of the conferences, at least this year.
yeah. Unfortunately, like it shows how much of a wagon the Big Ten is because it's just like ever since the NIL era has happened, it just seems like every single year that the SEC and Big Ten are just continuing to separate themselves, which stinks. Unfortunately, when the Big 12 has had a chance to represent itself well, it hasn't. So
And
I guess it's just something
but
that
I mean, even at the beginning of the NIL era, the Big 12 did win two national championships in men's basketball.
they
Baylor and
did.
Kansas were the two teams that did, but since then it has not. They have not necessarily brought the hardware. I mean, Houston did make it to the national championship game, but unfortunately they fell to Florida, and I mean that was a really like elite Florida team. And then this Michigan team is really like hitting their strides, and then so it's just a. But I mean, this tournament overall felt a bit disappointing for the Big 12. Some of the teams that we
Yeah.
thought were going to go far didn't. Um, Arizona, I mean, they got to where they wanted to, the Final Four, but they certainly want to win the national title. Iowa State, Houston, um, were definitely two teams that were expecting to get further, but fell short both in the Sweet 16. Texas Tech, I think if they had JT Top and they would have gone on a deeper run. Kansas kind of disappointed in the tournament. So it's just an overall disappointing show for the Big 12.
Yeah, I think this the story of this year for the Big 12 was injuries. Honestly, it's just
Mm-hmm.
that the injuries honestly derailed what could have been a really good tournament for the Big 12. So we just gotta try again next year, I guess.
Hopefully.
But anyways, let's go in and then we have a lot to cover today. What I wanted to talk about first was Iowa State now has a new basketball hire. Let's talk about that.
Yep. Uh, Tim Buckley is named one of the new Iowa State assistant coaches. TJ Altenberger named him assistant coach earlier today. Uh, Tim Buckley was previously a member of TJ Altenberger's staff while TJ Altenberger was the head coach at UNLV. Uh, Buckley has worked with a number of teams, including Indiana and Marquette, and he has been able to work with 12 NBA draft picks with some notable names in that list, including Dwayne Wade, Victor Oladipo, Cody Zeller, and Noah Vonleh. I do like, I mean, the fact that Buckley worked with Dwayne Wade and Victor Oladipo, I have high hopes for that.
I do too. I love that resume and just him already having a previous relationship with TJ is also makes me confident that this hire is going to work. Really interested to see what they're going to be looking at for the other coach. Um,
Hmm.
but I do fully trust that TJ will make the right decision.
Yeah, and I mean Tim Buckley, like 30 plus years of coaching, 8 NCAA tournament appearances. Sounds like a really good like name for Iowa State. and I think this is just like this is gonna really help. And I mean, this probably helps really too with kind of keeping like ties with the Midwest. I would say.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
he said Indiana. So he recruited the state of Indiana.
Marquette.
Obviously with Marquette being him and recruiting Dwayne Wade from the Chicagoland area. So really, just because if you look at like just the Great Lakes area in general, that's
Hmm.
that area is sort of pretty rich with basketball talent. Like you
Hmm.
see how well that TJ has done in the city of Milwaukee, and then obviously the city of Chicago has elite basketball talent, and then Indiana is just a basketball crazy state. Like when you
Hmm.
have that type of footprint, and especially one that's mostly Big Ten territory, I think that would definitely help us in recruiting in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just further like asserting TJ Altsberger's pipeline from Wisconsin and the great. You mentioned the Great Lakes area, so hopefully, like I'm very excited for this for this hire, and I can't wait to see what the next hire is gonna be. So, um, okay, so let's do a little bit of hypothetical. So we've already got a lot of Midwest ties with the coaching staff. I'm curious to see what type of coach would you look for with this to fill in the second assistant uh, role.
Um, Now, like I will say, as much as I'd like to recruit the Midwest, I would probably find somebody that maybe um has ties to like the East Coast, maybe, or maybe like because those type of players are very gritty. Not saying
Hmm.
that the Midwest players aren't, but like up in like the Northeast and stuff, where they play like a Big East type of basketball where we can find maybe like some big men who have that toughness and can rebound and stuff. I'd like to see a guy maybe from there, from the East Coast, that will give us a different type of perspective on like a different style of basketball. That's what I would like to see.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that'd be really nice. The New York area, the Philly area. I,
Mm-hmm.
there are some ballers out in that area, and that would be really really nice. Just to really continue asserting your like footstep and build on what TJ's built on
Yeah,
these first few years. I mean, this has been a really good 5 year stint for TJ Osberger so far. But we want so much more. I think the fans want more, and I think this is a step in the right direction to help out in that regard.
definitely for sure. And we also got our first portal news from the men's basketball team. Um, I don't know why the person who made the news, he made it look so scary. I'm like, what? He is he? And I'm like, oh, he's staying. I'm like, dude, I'm like, you gotta put your font in better standing. I'm like, because you scared a hell of a lot of people. I'm like, what is going on? Like,
Oh, and I mean, us Iowa State fans, we have a lot of trauma when it comes to the transfer portal. I mean, we literally just saw our entire women's team hit the portal, and I mean, I can briefly talk into some of the moves been made there, but yeah,
right.
Jamarian Bateman is staying. I mean, I think Jamarian Bateman would have definitely. I wonder if he. I would assume he probably got some offers and maybe heard them, but he ultimately decided to stay, considering I guess just his role that he filled, and obviously the departure of Tamin Lipsey and Nate Heisey. I think I think the coaching staff really pitched that like, this is now like going to be you and Torre's team. This is going to be up to you guys. And I mean, Bayman getting that year of learning under Lipsey and Heisey, I think was really huge for his development. And what he did
Yeah,
in the second half of the season was really nice. I mean, there's nothing more satisfying than watching him just chuck up a heat check three. I'm always reminded of Curtis Jones whenever he just does that. He'll literally
I'm
just catch
telling
the
you, bro.
ball, step into it, and just chuck it. And that's the confidence I love to see. Whether he's going 4 or 5 or 1 of 7, he's still going to put up those 3 point shots. And I mean, that's the kind of guy you need.
Yeah, and I'd love to take a look at on three and maybe speculate and look at some of the guys maybe that Iowa State can look at in the transfer portal if you want to do that.
Yeah, sure. I've actually have that right now. There's a lot
Oh,
of
perfect.
Yeah, so one of the well, I mean, before we even, I mean, we talked about the transfer portal and have something else. Some things out of Lawrence, Kansas. A couple names have entered the transfer
Yeah,
portal recently. Uh, let's see, Floyd Badunga. He was a name that was like that we got familiar with, obviously, with how he played against us at Kansas. But he is in the portal, and I heard that he's looking for what $5 million. And
5
looking,
million.
yeah, and he's the type of player that I wonder some Iowa State people are thinking that like, okay, he might be a guy that could potentially fit into like Iowa State. Do you think that would have been the case?
Oh, it definitely wouldn't have been the case if we had a bag, we definitely would have given him it. But
Yeah.
like he is the guy that we're looking for. Like the guy that fights out on the boards. That's a guy who we could have used against Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So he's on the names, but here are some other names that have entered the portal out of the University of Kansas. Bryson Tiller is another name that entered the portal. I'm gonna miss that.
Don't.
I, I, I bet that no, I saw a tweet that said I bet that's what Bill Self was like saying right before Bryson Tiller announced it. He just hit the pause and hit the don't. I'm like, oh my god. Oh, that is so hilarious. But yeah, Bryson Tiller is a Bryson Tiller. He had some solid moments. He had some solid games
Yeah, he did.
for Kansas. But I'm curious to see like I don't know, was it about like playing time or something? But I don't think it would have been playing time considering that like he was a starter. He was a regular starter. So this has to be something deeper, and clearly that can be the case. With a couple other names in the transfer portal, Paul Bia, 6'11" freshman from France. He's in the portal from the Jayhawks, and then El Marco Jackson. He's another name that has entered the portal. And El Marco Jackson, what is your read on El Marco? Like, has his career gone at Kansas?
I mean, I think he's a solid bench player,
Mm-hmm.
a solid guy that you can that maybe his thing is he wants more playing time, so he's willing to go down or go to like to like a mid major and maybe
Yeah.
be like the guy. That's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if that is what his goal is, good on him.
Yep.
Um,
So.
Honestly, I don't know if I would be if he's going to try to get a bag, but like if he's trying to get playing time, which I
Mhm.
think is probably what it is, then
Yep.
best of luck to him.
Yep. And not just Kansas, but also North Carolina. The Tar Heels have had a couple players in the portal, and we might need to talk about North Carolina for a second here.
Yes, we
Jonathan
do.
Powell, 6'6" sophomore. He's entered the transfer portal. I was watching some of his. Like I was watching North Carolina ball, and I mean North Carolina, they felt very like on and off when it came to the 3-point shooting. And I've talked to a North Carolina fan. Basically, like whenever their 3-point shooting was on, it was on, but when they were out, they were really off. So they were kind of an up and down team. And Jonathan Powell plays part of it. Also, Derek Dixon, 6'3", freshman. He was a pretty solid player for North Carolina. So that comes so he's in the portal, and I'm gonna guess it's probably because of the recent announcement that came out of Chapel Hill, as former NBA champion head coach Mike Malone, who coached the Denver Nuggets to a title in the 2022-23 season. He has been named the new head coach for the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Yeah, this is very, very lackluster. I'm not gonna lie to you, like I think this is North Carolina's eighth choice because I think what college coaches are realizing now is
Mm-hmm.
that like being at a blue blood like this, it's stressful. Like
Mm-hmm.
the place where you were at before, they're not gonna take that.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, with TJ, what he's done at Iowa State and what Ben McCollum did at Iowa, like like obviously they're going to be like the flavors of the month. But like once you go to North Carolina, you have all those resources.
Mm-hmm.
There's no just settling for the Sweet 16. You got to go and compete for national championships
Final
from year
fours.
one,
Yep.
Final Fours from in year one. So
Yeah.
I think like coaches are a lot more self aware and realize like not necessarily how good they have it, but like where they're at is like they appreciate what you have.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, this comes off the heels of, I mean, this comes off the heels of TJ Otzelberger, like when he was asked about like potential like rumors of him talking to North Carolina, he denies it. And then I think I saw earlier today Ben McCollum said he declined an interview to go to North Carolina from Iowa. So it's clear, and Ben McCollum has stated that the Iowa Hawkeyes was his dream job. So it's clear that at least like in the state, like for the next few years, that the Cyhawk rivalry is going to be Ben McCollum versus TJ Otzelberger. And I mean, those two coaches are like that's a fun coaching matchup, and I think
Sure
both
is.
programs need to do what they can to keep those two in their respective programs. It's so that was a fun one, and then I was trying to, and then Tommy Lloyd from Arizona, he had been
Hmm.
another name that had been thrown in from the Big 12 that potentially was in talks to become the next head coach of North Carolina, and then he signs an extension right before the Final Four to show that he is in fact staying in Tucson.
Yes, and I believe a um a extension is coming down the pipeline for TJ. I believe
Yeah,
sometime soon.
I would guess like they're ironing out the final details, but it it wouldn't shock me if like he stays here. And I mean, this is where it's funny seeing like the propaganda like for both Iowa and Iowa State fans talk about like, oh, Ben McCollum to North Carolina or T. Johnsburg to North Carolina. It's a funny little discourse to have, but now it's just the
Yeah,
fact that like neither left, so it's like, well, both meanings did not both like both sides of the war did not age well.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
just like, look, yeah, we're keeping both of our head coaches. This rivalry is only going to get better
Hmm.
over the years. So it's going to be interesting to see how it develops, and also another departure from the transfer portal. Cade Kelderman is also leaving. I'm very, very happy for him. Just getting the opportunity, I believe. What, he's a junior?
Yeah. So probably like my first like instinct would be he may possibly consider going to Northern Iowa to join Kyle Green.
I was
And
thinking the same thing.
yeah, and then speaking of Cyclones, a couple former Cyclones are in the portal. Omaha Blue out of Wake Forest, and then
Hmm.
JT Rock out of New Mexico. Um, do you think there's gonna Kyle Green is gonna hit both of them up and be like, hey, y'all wanna I, like if y'all want, I can bring you guys into Cedar Falls.
You already know that's where he's going to go. Like it's going to be a team of former Cyclones. I'm wondering now if like if they're good if Iowa State's considering putting UNI on the schedule because now that Kyle
Oh,
Green is back there, um, I don't know. Maybe that's something they consider.
potentially that would be a thing.
Hmm.
And this also brings an idea of bringing back the Big Four.
I talked about this. Bringing back the Big Four Classic, I think would be good,
And
but
like I know I wonder if like people are like, oh, what's like it's the fun thing is like you could still like either do one, you can do all four at the well they call it the Case Center now, but the Wells Fargo Arena,
hmm,
or what you can do is have the bigger schools like do like maybe like a home and home,
I
and
do
then you
that. Yeah.
swap, and then like so every other like so it's like 1 year, let's say for example Iowa State, they travel to Cedar Falls to play Northern Iowa, then they host Drake, and then the next year they go to Drake and host Northern Iowa, and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
then Iowa does the same thing.
No, I agree. I would do the same exact thing, dude. Like it makes too much sense not to do that. At least in my
And
eyes.
that's why they'll never do it. This is college athletics we're talking about after all. It,
Yeah, that's true, man.
yeah,
That's very, very
things
true.
that make too much sense in college athletics they'll never do. Um,
That
but if
makes too
not,
much sense.
let's just do it. Just do it at Casey Centers. Just do it downtown Des Moines.
Might as well. I mean, you're already hosting NCAA tournament games there, so
Yeah. So why not?
all
So I mean
right.
that's a little bit
Yeah.
of a fantasy drafting for like college basketball. But back to the transfer portal. We have another name out of the Big 12. Lawan Watts, Texas Tech forward. He has plans to enter the transfer portal as well.
Was that in real time?
No, this was from earlier today. I just had the
Oh. Oh wow.
picture up.
Really?
Yeah, he entered
Huh.
earlier this morning.
Interesting.
So I'm
Okay.
curious to see what he has, considering he played a pretty pivotal. Like he played some really nice minutes for Grant McCaslam.
Well, that's why I'm shocked because I'm like he played some pretty big minutes. So I was like, huh.
Yeah,
Wonder
because he.
what that was reason. What the
Yeah, I'm
reason where it
curious.
was there.
hmm And then Purdue has an opportunity to do the funniest thing, as a Gonzaga guard Braden Smith has entered the transfer portal. So Matt Painter, you have the opportunity to do the funniest thing.
Yeah.
It's like Braden Smith never left.
You
It,
literally.
it's like the Perry Ellis at Kansas.
We're gonna continue it again.
Tyler, I think this is a pretty familiar name for us. Tennessee guard Bishop Boswell. He has entered the transfer
Wow.
portal as well.
Yeah, and then there are other big man. JP Estrella also hit the transporter as well.
Interesting.
Um, so obviously, with all this, we're gonna bring this up. Obviously, this is one of the topics I wanted to talk about. So we're just gonna talk about the transfer portal discussion. Is it helping or is it hurting college basketball? Like, with this, like with all these different departures, like Cody, I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Mm. To me, it's a balancing act. I think it's like right now to me, it's a balancing act because it's like yes, you can bring in like these guys or whatever and whatnot, and like you can build like these 1 year rosters, but at the same time, it's kind of hurting you because year to year you have to like you have to make like really tough decisions for some guys, whatever, and some guys you don't even know if they're gonna stay with you or not because the transfer portal, with the way it is right now, it just allows for free, easy movement. And then we've seen the cases where you get a bunch of guys who move from school to school to school. AJ Store's the first name I think of. That dude's gone to new school every year.
Man,
So
yeah.
it's just you have no idea um, if they're going to stay or not. And that makes roster building really difficult in me. That's why you see, at least in football, why some of these coaches have retired that used to really like rule the world of college football. They've retired because of the way the portal works. And it's like, it just feels like the athlete maybe has like way more leverage. It feels like at some points they have that program held by the nuts, to use as an analogy.
I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, obviously, you've seen the executive order by President Trump about the new possible new transfer rule about I Bleav what having going for 5 years and then only allowing one transfer.
One, yeah. So
The only thing is, I don't know. Like, I would love that, and I hope that it does. But I don't. The thing is, it's probably not going to hold up in court. But we'll have to
mhm,
see how they rule it. But I
mhm,
think that's exactly what it needs because, I mean, I'm looking at this from just for us as fans. It's just like, well, like you're sort of just ruining the experience for the fan. Like I'm all for like player movement, but like you gotta at least like be there for like a few years and not go every year because like as fans you're like, well, why should I even be invested when I don't even know the players who are going to be on my team year to year? Because at that point I was like, well, it doesn't even make any sense. Like the pro leagues don't even do this.
mhm. Yeah, I was just saying that. Yeah, you're no longer going to see guys like, I mean, as I've mentioned, Tamin Lipsey or George Yang. You want to go even further, like, or Melvin Edgem, excuse me. I think
Right.
you aren't going to see guys that are going to stay at a school for their entire like career, and that's why it's here like guys like Tamin Lipsey are heralded by Iowa State fans because he's one of the few that that was he was born and raised in the city of Ames. He was a little Cyclone, won a state title at Ames High School, and then spent all 4 years at Iowa State as a Cyclone. And those careers are like those are going to be the special careers that everybody's going to remember because of the loyalty. And I mean, Taman Lipsey, he certainly could have left for other like schools that would have paid him a lot more because of what he brought. But his commitment to Ames and to Iowa State University, that's a special thing that the fans are going to hold, and you're not going to see too many of those stories in this current era.
Yeah, that's the sad thing. Like, there's really just no more loyalty anymore. And if it's loyalty, it's to the coaches that recruited them. So,
or
um,
just or what we can call like to the bag.
yeah, loyalty to the bag, which I don't blame. Look, I don't blame them. I'm not one of those people saying college people shouldn't get paid because they make over millions of dollars to school. All
Hmm.
I'm saying is at least we got to get to a place to where it's not the wild wild west because like the way it is now, it's not. This isn't going to be sustainable, and I know that for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, this is just on the men's side of things. So I mean, this is the Wild West, but um, I mean, I guess we can transition this to women's basketball, as I saw earlier
Yeah.
today. One of Iowa State's many transfers out. Alyssa Williams has officially committed to the Hoosiers, so she will be at
Yep.
Indiana University for her final year of eligibility. So, uh, curious about that. But, uh, for all of the things I've gone in here at Iowa State, and I mean, three of our players are like three of the top five transfer portal names in women's basketball: Jade Williams, Addie Brown, Audie Crooks. Somehow it can get worse.
In what sense?
Uh, Try losing your entire roster. Like when I was
Man,
this
Tennessee
goes
lost their entire roster.
yeah,
That
so
is
the women's
insane.
basketball roster. So we as Iowa State fans, we talked about how bad we have it, but I saw like Tennessee literally has zero. So when we say we exaggerated a little bit when we said we had zero, but there's literally zero players left uh for Kim Caldwell and the Lady Volunteers after this mass exodus.
And it's like sort of sad because if you look historically, Tennessee is like a legendary women's program, especially under Pat Summitt. But ever since she's left, they have definitely lost their luster, and
Yeah.
like it is sad down in Rocky Top.
Uh huh. Oof. And I mean, I don't know. I might just throw a jab to like to them, even though they beat us in the tournament. Um, do you think us Iowa State watching what Michigan did to Tennessee? Were you sitting there on the couch somewhere being like, I'm kind of glad it's not us, but it's a
Oh,
damn
I
shame we're in it.
am. I mean, like look, look. As much as I would like to, it was sort of like with UConn and Illinois, where they went on that 30-0 run. I'm like, I'm so glad that wasn't us. Like, it hurts that we still aren't able to go over the hump, but I'm like, I'm glad we didn't embarrass ourselves.
It's like, I mean, we kind of did embarrass ourselves, but not to that level.
Not to that level. Yeah, not to lose by 33.
Oof. And I mean, that's just the Michigan Wolverines because they're on the warpath.
Yeah, they're on a warpath, and I mean, I think they're better than what we all thought. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were good, but when now we knew when them like handily beating Arizona like that, now we know that they were like actually really really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, this kind of leads into like another kind of national championship. We'll just do a national championship preview because I wasn't really able to watch the Final Four. Were you able to?
Yeah, so uh, you like so Illinois like we'll break down the first one. Illinois had open shots; they just weren't making them. It was Illinois' night, and
Mm-hmm.
UConn was getting into the paint and exposing Illinois' bigs.
Mm-hmm.
So UConn was able to make their shots. Braden Mullins had, I believe, 15 points. He was just hitting every single type of three. That every time Illinois was making a run, he hit a back-breaking three to increase UConn's lead.
Mm-hmm.
And then Illinois tried to make a little bit of a run at the end, but it was too little, too late. And I didn't really watch the second game, but Michigan just was dominant from the start. They were killing Arizona on the boards, which usually was is what Arizona did. But
Mm-hmm.
Michigan's bigs proved more worthy as Arizona loses 91-73 to
Yeah,
Michigan.
yeah. Dave Mara dominated this game. 26 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists. Um, got a couple of offensive rebounds. Yaxel Lenneborg had a relatively he had a quiet day. Only 14 minutes, and I heard he got injured, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm. I didn't hear that, but I have to look.
Let me look. I'll check it, but real quick. But
Okay.
Yaxel Lenborg only played 14 minutes, in this game for Michigan, and so it really so
Yeah.
okay. So it does sound like so I'm reading. Yaxel was injured in the in the game. So I'm reading. So Yaxel Lenborg apparently suffered a well, he was in foul trouble as well, but he also apparently sprained his MCL, and we're waiting to see his status for the game before the national championship game. So
So there's gonna be a game time decision for him.
yeah, so I'm reading sprained MCL and rolled ankle during the game against Arizona.
Oh boy, that's not good.
Yeah, that would I mean that would be a
That's gonna be
huge
a
loss
huge, and that's a huge piece.
for Dusty May if Yaxel isn't good to go.
Yeah, I mean, and this, and like now that and UConn is now healthier than they've ever been. So like UConn is on a run, and I mean, all of America is rooting for Michigan tonight. Obviously, Michigan is trying to get that eluded first title since 1989. Like they've been a steady program the
Mhm.
last, I'll say the last 25 years. I believe it's like nine, like six national championship appearances, and like I believe 8 or 9 Final Four appearances in that time.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
to look,
Michigan has
but like
I've
they've
never
been pretty
seen them.
successful.
Yeah, I've never seen like Michigan. I was like never had one of their like they never popped out to me as a name in successful basketball. But I think it's just because of what they've done in football, and their names more in football. But let's see. So yeah, Michigan has this is their eighth national championship appearance. Well, two of them are kind of marked with asterisks due to the scandal that involved the Fab Five
Hmm.
in the 90s. So two of those appearances, some people don't recognize them, and one they were vacated by the NCAA. So the NCAA doesn't recognize their 92 and 93 championship game appearances. But yes, they have gone to the Final Four. Most recently, prior to this season, 2018, where they put a stop to the. I think they were the team that put an end to the Loyola Chicago Final Four run
Hmm.
because that was what was Mo Wagner, I think was
Mo Wagner, yeah.
yeah. So for Michigan, it's an opportunity for them to claim their first title since 1989, and then on the other side for UConn, it's for them to really continue being a 21st continue being a 21st century powerhouse because
Yeah.
most, if not all, of their championships have been 1999 and beyond. So this is an opportunity for them to, and this would be 3 titles in 4 years for Dan
Which
Hurley and
would
company.
be an amazing feat, especially in the NIL era.
Mhm.
Like, that's very impressive.
And this would just add on to the basketball legacy at UConn. Considering, I mean, the women's team, they fell short in the Final Four, but I mean, that's still that's just imagine being a UConn basketball fan all these years, and you just get to see championship after championship.
It's just like being a boss. It was just like the time when, like, it's like being a Boston sports fan, man. You had the Bruins being good. You had the Patriots with their run, the Celtics winning title. Like, it's just so unfair. Like,
Hmm.
man, the East Coast, man, I hate it.
I hate these. I don't believe. Yeah, but I mean, this game for me, I have to look. I think UConn or Michigan opened up as the favorite. Yeah, Michigan by 6.5, um, in this game. So I guess I guess it comes down to really the shooting for UConn and then the bigs for Michigan showing up again.
Yeah, the bigs are definitely going to have to show up big time in this one. Michigan almost scores almost 90 points a game, but UConn has a better defense, only giving up 65 a game. Michigan is a lot more efficient offensively. Um, they average a block more a game, and but UConn almost averages 7 steals a game. So I think it's going to be Michigan's offense versus UConn's defense. UConn's tough defense. I
Yeah,
think if Michigan is able to get it going early, I think they'll be able to win this. But if UConn is able to force turnovers and get timely threes and get and score in the paint, UConn will be victorious again. But I would like to have your thoughts on who you think will be the national champion this year.
I mean, UConn, like, I mean, the tweet still lives that like UConn getting past the first weekend, they go on to win the national championship. So that's something that could give Michigan, looked for the first title in, like almost 30 years, and I mean for the Big Ten, this is an opportunity for them to win their first men's basketball title since the 2000 year.
Yeah, it'll be his first time in 26 years.
So something's got to give in that regard. But
Yeah,
I
something's got to give.
yeah, but I do like I think I do like Michigan, and
Michigan.
it, like yeah, even with I feel like even without Yaxel Lenborg, the way they were able to take care of Arizona, with really like Ade Mara and Elliot Cadeau kind of stepping up, Morris Johnson Jr. I just I think Michigan's like I think Mara is gonna have a pretty nice day.
Yeah, I think he will too. Um, I think it's going to come down to the end. I think they slightly will. I think they could cover, but I think
Hmm.
it could be between. It could be 6 points or less.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, the only good thing for us is like, well, I mean, this is gonna suck. 'Cause this is like the last game of college basketball until November. But the one shining moment video. The only thing is, I hope we have some Iowa State highlights in there.
I'm sure we will, especially from the Kentucky game.
Oh, oh God. Let's see. Let's just think. The Bateman heat check, the Heisey corner three.
Hmm
Let's see what else. What else could we put in there?
The dunks from the Tennessee State game.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But
So
yeah. I mean, do you have anything else that you want to talk about?
Well, softball related things. I mean, we haven't really talked about softball, but I was like, I just watched their game against number 14 Arizona. Um, they had held a weekend series, so so 3 game series versus the number 14th ranked Arizona. Yesterday was
Hmm
a doubleheader where Iowa State was competitive, but they just ran out of gas against the Wildcats. They lost the first 2 games, 7-10, and then 7-8. So they were right there competing against Arizona. And then in this game earlier today, they were down 10-5 in the sixth, but they were able to string go on a long like extended like run, and then
Yeah,
a walk off run blast from Reagan Bartholomew,
that
and
was awesome.
yeah, that was awesome. So they get that win, and that puts them 4-8 in the Big 12, but 22-15 overall. That win against Arizona will help immense. I think that's a really good win for them, and this is a win that they needed heading into Cyhawk, because that'll be taking place on Wednesday in Iowa City.
Oh man,
I
should
mean,
be
I think
interesting.
we've locked up. I mean we've locked up the trophy. I know our
Hmm
fans and Iowa fans. We troll back and forth or whatever, but it'd just be nice just to get that nod over Iowa again.
Going into the summer right before football season again
Oh,
starts up again.
oh, for sure, for sure. So pretty decent year from the Cyclones bats, and I'm hoping they do actually make the tournament. So let's just see if they can keep control what they can and get some like more wins under their belt to make it. Because I they were last year they were right on the edge. They were like one of the
Yeah,
first teams out of making
yeah,
the
because I remember
NCAA
they made
tournament.
it run at the end of the year, right?
Yeah, they did. Strung some good wins together and put a solid showing in Oklahoma, at the Big 12 tournament. So I'm hoping the ladies can put on a pretty nice run again towards the end of the year and do some more damage in the Big 12 tournaments to hopefully make it to the NCAA tournament because that'd be kind of cool.
It would, yeah. Let's see. We gotta see what this women team is made of. But I think
And
today that is. Oh, go ahead.
oh yeah, and speaking of more women's sports, the volleyball team they will be heading to the Pentagon. Funny enough, to take on the Nebraska Cornhuskers, April 11th. So really good
Mm,
opportunity for some like for Iowa State, like Nebraska fans. There no doubt. I mean, going up against like one of the best like the best teams in college volleyball. That's gonna be like a really good opportunity for those ladies to kind of get a bigger audience on them. So I think it'd be
hmm
really cool. That'll be a really cool match, and I'm hoping I'm able to watch it. I think it's on Big Ten Network, but I hope I can tune into that. And I mean, with no really sports, it is now volleyball season for me. I'm writing up the propaganda.
Yes, there you go. Right up to propaganda. All right, we are going to end today's show. Thank you guys for tuning into the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. A big thanks to FanDuel. Make sure you get your betting on, and if you know ball, go and make money with FanDuel. Um, Cody, can you tell us where you can be found on Twitter?
Well, you can search me, officially find me at Naily Tia Propagandist. Just search that up. My bio is going to read a retired football coach impersonator, so formerly known as Matt Campbell impersonator, obviously. So you can find me at Tia Propaganda is the at, and then Tyler, where can they find you now that something may have changed since we were last on the show?
Yeah, Triflin X or Twitter, they suspended my original account, and I have no idea why. Like, it's so stupid. I have to basically build up my followership all over again. So I can be found at SciTi Guy 1992. Also, if you're a friend of mine and Cody, if you could please screenshot the picture saying that on my original account, if that I was suspended, you guys, I am not off Twitter. It's just that Twitter, I have to wait and to see if they reinstate my old account. But
Mm-hmm.
right now, I've made a new one, so make sure you go find me at SciTi Guy 1992. That's where you can find me.
Mm-hmm.
Also, make sure to follow us on social media to see what we're doing on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitch. The Twitch handle is Bleav in ISU 2025. All right, that is going to be the end of today's show. For Tyler Carter,
And for Cody Vancillum,
this is the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. Roll clones, baby.
go Cyclones.